tell us your name, please.
Kiana Davis.
And you are?
Brandy Flores.
All right, now we have met before. Let's just, we met a long time ago. Tell everyone, because we've got new people here, tell everybody your story, please.
So, when I was 12 years old, that's when the HPV vaccine, the Gardasil vaccine, was being heavily pushed. I got all 3 rounds because our doctor, my pediatrician at the time, I remember she told my mom that I had to get the vaccine if she didn't want me to get cervical cancer and die. Those were literally her exact words. I remember it because it nearly scared me to death, as I'm only 12 years old. So we went forward with the vaccines. I got all 3 rounds. After the 3rd round, I started experiencing lots of health problems. It started with headaches, and before then I've never had headaches. I was very active in school. I was a straight A student. I was on the wrestling team. I did basketball. I was in marching band. I played symphonic band, 2 different instruments, both bassoon and trumpet. And out of nowhere, I just developed these seizures in school that no one's ever seen before. We kept going to specialists. While I was in high school, it really made me fall back a lot. No one was really taking us seriously because I'd never had that problem before. The only person that was really fighting to figure it out was my mom here. As they say, mothers do know best, so she figured with the timeline it had to be something with the vaccine. Spent all of high school, in and out of high school, going back and forth to the hospitals, having to be homebound, in and out of surgeries. They kept neglecting what was really going on, even though she would bring it up. It took, when I graduated high school, for a neurologist to finally say, I do feel like you had a bad reaction to the vaccine. All my mom has asked for them is to try to help treat my symptoms. She always brings up the vaccine again, but you always have doctors that will tell you there's nothing wrong with the vaccines, there's no side effects, but there's a side effect to everything. And like I said, she was digging deep to find anything and everything she can so we could figure out the problem. Fast forward now, I'm about to have my 8th brain surgery, for them trying to coddle my problems that are going on instead of really tackling what's going on.
Why are you having brain surgery? Tell the people.
They're trying to take care of my seizures. That's their main thing. So I've had occipital nerve decompression. I've had an occipital nerve stimulator 4 times. Then I've had it removed. The most recent ones that we've been doing, I have a VP shunt put in my head. I was told I now have pseudotumor cerebri. So there's just
High spinal pressure.
So, yes, the other word for it is IIH. So it's just too much pressure in my head, too much fluids. It causes blindness, and it causes me to have my seizures as well. So right here, since the last time I saw you, they put in a VP shunt in my head. Since then, I've been having problems with it. So last year, at the same time, I had it revised. My pressure's too low now, so now we're in the process of getting it removed. I don't even know what to say. It's just been an ongoing battle.
How old are you now?
I am now 27.
You're 27 years old.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
So since the Gardasil shots that you had, have you ever had another vaccination or shot after that?
No, ma'am.
No COVID shots?
No,
nothing?
ma'am. No, ma'am. Ever since that happened, I'm terrified. I have a son now. I've been blessed with a son, even though they said I could not have one. He will be 6 years old this month. And thanks to his pediatrician listening to me and actually caring for what I say, he has no vaccines at all. None whatsoever. He is perfectly healthy. He's thriving. He's in public school. He loves it. He is a bundle of joy. And he's the reason why I'm pushing myself to make sure I try to be as healthy as I can, but also let people be aware of what happened to me so that the same thing doesn't happen to this next generation of kids when it comes to shots.
And what goes through your head when you see these HPV Gardasil being pushed? Apparently it's cervical cancer month, whatever that means, and they're pushing it like never before.
It scares me.
With the lie that they told you.
Right.
It terrifies me. Everywhere I look on television, there's so many ads now. Yes, it's like, did you know that you could die tomorrow if you don't get this? I've never seen ads pushed like this before, especially watching kids shows with my child. We're on Hulu watching them, and the ads are popping up, and it just frightens me that the way they advertise it, they're not going into details. They're not offering inserts to show people the real ingredients in it. They basically make these vaccines like a one-size-fits-all, and we're all different for a reason. We all can't equip to one vaccine. That's not going to work for everybody. We all have different immune systems. We all come from different areas of the world, our ancestors. That all builds up. And again, I've done my research over the years since I've been sick. So it's never made sense to me. And now that it's being pushed, like I said, it really scares me for this next generation. I would be heartbroken if anything like that happened to my son. So seeing these girls and guys get it, it's really scares me because their parents aren't fully aware of what's going to happen next. And I don't want others to have to go through what I went through, and I'm still going through to this day. And that's why I try to voice myself as loud as possible. I know people will make their own decisions, but I had to learn the hard way. And if I could just save one life by telling people to do their research, it would make a huge difference in my life. And that's just how I really feel about that stupid vaccine.
Coming from the parent standpoint, the guilt that I carry for getting her that and not researching it, and for just trusting our doctors, and of course they're going to tell us the right things, and that it's brutal. It's brutal. Like, I feel in a sense that I made her this way, and of course it was not on purpose by any means. That's a hard guilt to live with. It's a hard guilt to live with. But now I got a beautiful grandson who is untouched and will stay that way, and he is perfectly healthy. So, and she's tough. She's tough. I admire the daylights out of this girl.
You're amazing. You've been speaking out ever since, and we're so grateful to you for that. Is there anything else you want to tell the people? I've got a quick question, random question. When you were pregnant, because first of all they told you couldn't have children.
Yes, ma'am.
Who told you that, and what did they say?
It was my neurologist that told me that, and my rheumatologist, because we didn't know, but after I got the vaccine, I was told I had autoimmune disorders. Antiphospholipid antibody syndrome, and sometimes I came up positive for lupus as well. So again, we don't know if I had these underlying issues and then the vaccine triggered them. But since I have them, I was told that if I try to carry kids, I would miscarry. With my seizures and everything, it wasn't possible for me to even get pregnant.
With the antiphospholipids, she's prone to the clots, the blood clots, and strokes and all that. And
we didn't have a COVID shot then. That would finish you off.
And they've pushed it on me before too.
DTaP when she was pregnant, and we had to argue that.
They do, but I'm not going anywhere.
It's funny because the nurse said, well, I don't think she can go home without it. No, she can. So let's not play that game. She will go home.
And the first thing that was on it was, do not get this if you have seizures. You guys did an emergency C-section because I
of the
was having seizures that day.
That's what I was
So
going to ask you. When you were pregnant, did the symptoms get better or worse?
worse. After, when I was in my second trimester, I was having between 7 to 10 seizures a day, constantly in the hospital.
That's when they finally admitted that they were seizures.
Yes.
It took 9 years.
It
of me
took
telling
them forever to actually see my seizures, even though I was doing all the tests. Everyone around was recording like the doctors wanted. We had all the proof. And finally, when I was pregnant, they saw them. And that's when they finally put me on prescription for my seizures. It didn't do anything for it. It barely
While you were
touched.
pregnant?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
It put me on seizure
time to start
medication when I was
medication.
pregnant. So I delivered my son a month early. Again, it was an emergency C-section because a seizure was coming. So my doctor rushed me downstairs and I had him and he came out perfect. He was 7 pounds, 14 ounces. He came out so healthy.
And I didn't
Luckily,
let him
she
leave the
was
room.
there.
He's
So
not going
she
anywhere
made
without me.
sure that nothing happened to him.
So no vitamin K? You got away with that?
Nope, they didn't do nothing.
I can imagine you'd be good at that.
I'm getting really good.
Yeah, she.
After all this time, not a people pleaser, so they
Well,
don't
they
like
messed
me
with
very
your
much.
baby.
No, it kills me. It kills me. And then all these other kids' stories is when we went and watched Vax 2 in the theater, and my son went with me and watching. He goes, "Oh, that's my sister," and then he lost it. He had to leave the theater. It's just watching it from a whole different perspective. But hearing them cut from child to child to child, and every story starts off the exact same with the headaches and the seizures and it's not. They want you to think it's rare, and it's not. And especially, I don't care about your percentages. That's my percent. So what affects her affects me, and when it's your percent, it's a whole different story.
And she's talking about the movie Vax 2. If you go to chd.tv and go down to the movie section, it is free. You can just watch it. So please, it's shocking and it's awful and it's difficult to get through, but it's free and you should send that to every pregnant person you know.
100%.
Definitely.
100%.
Definitely.
The Gardasil section is brutal.
It's mind-boggling, and it's frustrating because like when we go to the doctors, that's what I want to be like. How do you say this is rare? It's not rare. Every kid started out the same. Most of them were athletes. Most of them, and it's heartbreaking. It's absolutely
I
heartbreaking.
mean, you've got to say now that these doctors are pharmaceutical salespeople.
Oh yeah.
Yes, definitely.
100%.
Even talking to my doctor sometimes, I wonder how he got through college. I wonder if it was just a printout on the computer sometimes, because I know my charts in front of you, and what you're telling me, it's like you didn't even bother
They don't read
to.
the results.
Yes, I have to look up my own results and question you why it's like this, but you tell me not to worry about it. It doesn't make sense. Maybe that's why I'm like this. Maybe if you guys actually took the time to look at my file and help me, I could be a little better. But every time we go to my neurologist,
He's got a new sample.
sample this, sample that, here's this medicine, try this, blah, blah, blah. I'm on so many medications right now. I lose my appetite. I feel sick throughout the day. I'm 27. I shouldn't have to take up to 10 pills a day. It's not a lifestyle. I want to be all natural. I want to be able to live my life. I don't want to be sleepy and groggy in the house all day. It's not fair, especially to my son. So,
And all of this because the doctor told you that she would die if she didn't take it from cervical cancer.
Correct.
That is why this happened.
Correct. Looked me in my face and told me that. And I wasn't, back then again, I didn't know to research it. I didn't know to look what was in it. And we learned our lesson the hard way. I don't trust the thing they tell me anymore. All her test results, I go in with binders full. I'll read them myself. They don't take the time to read them, so I'll read them. And they don't care for that very much. They're not real happy with that outcome, but that's how it works. So
sometimes we have to fight for ourselves now, especially with these doctors.
What I'm going to say is hard, but the silver lining of this is that you took one for the team. So your son Because if we didn't go through this, if we didn't live through
We
this,
would have gotten him everything.
we would have gone and had COVID shots.
We
Why
wouldn't have
we
even
not?
questioned it.
Right.
Wouldn't have questioned it.
So as awful as this is, you've saved your 6
And that's why I walk around with a smile, because I can be a light for others. And again, at first I didn't think that way. You know, depression takes over, being sick for so long. And then I get these friends that tell me, oh, I didn't get my kid vaccinated because of your story. Or I talked to my doctor today and I'm actually doing the research. Or if I have friends that do vaccinate, they still consider my story. And they'll be like, well, we're doing one at a time just to see how our kid is as we go. And it's just the fact that you guys are actually researching on your own means a lot to me. And it shows that I know everybody does care for their kid, but at the same time, you have to trust yourself first before you trust these doctors, because they're money hungry. You have one doctor that'll tell you one thing and another doctor that'll tell you something else. And I had to learn that the hard way. So I don't ever try to push my friends to, oh, don't get your child vaccinated. I always urge them to do their own thing, but research has always been my biggest thing. I did that with my son, and because of my health background, he has nothing. His doctor's fine with it. We had to search for a good pediatrician, but we found one that listens to me, and I appreciate her for that. But like I said, he's completely healthy. I have so many friends' kids that are completely healthy, unvaccinated, and it's just, it makes me feel good about the next generation coming. If I just want to keep being loud about it, so we make sure that these babies are safe.
Thank you for everything you're doing. You look stunning and beautiful. I'm so proud of you.
Thank
You
you.
did that some time ago, and I'm so
time
excited
ago.
that you have. You see, that's the thing, when they tell you you can't have children, it's another lie.
They don't know. They don't know. They're not God.
I proved them wrong.
don't know.
Prove them wrong. So thank you both so much for coming.
Thank
out
you.
here
It was
and-
good.
It was
seeing
really
you. It was
nice
good
to
seeing
see
you.
you again. I'm so happy.
I'm a granny now since I last
It's
saw
the
you.
best thing in the world.
I'm gonna come up here now.